First, let me just say thanks for being a member of the Inner Circle. A bunch of interesting things. It's ironic, but blue states, the Democratic states, are actually faring worse under Biden. 4 of the top 10 cities for millennials in a recent survey of Census Bureau data from 2021 are in the Lone Star and Sunshine states, Austin and Dallas in Texas, Jacksonville and Tampa in Florida. In job growth, blue states like New York, California, and Illinois have fiscal declines and job shortages, while red states like Texas, Florida, and West Virginia are experiencing surpluses. The winning cities for job growth are Salt Lake City, Nashville, Austin, Jacksonville, Dallas, and Raleigh, not a blue state among them. There's a report now from Afghanistan that the Taliban has killed more than 200 former Afghan government officials. Remember when we were promised that we'd reached an agreement that they would not do that? Remember when we actually had an American general say they were pretty good partners, they were efficient? Well, a new publication from the UN Assistance Mission in Afghanistan found that between 15th of August 2021 and the 30th of June 2023, the Taliban were responsible for 218 killings, 14 disappearances, over 144 instances of torture and ill treatment, and 424 arbitrary arrests and detections. Between 4,000 and 6,000 Islamic State fighters have entered the country. Once again, because of the weakness of Joe Biden, we're faced with recreating in Afghanistan a breeding ground for terrorism. After all the efforts of the Federal Reserve, the key federal inflation rate accelerated to 3.3% in July. Let's be clear. If the Federal Reserve raises interest, that hurts the private sector, but it doesn't affect the government. So if the government continues massive amounts, trillions of deficit spending, they're actually pumping up the economy at the very time that the Federal Reserve is trying to squeeze it. So it's a very socialist model that punishes individuals, punishes businesses, but allows government to continue growing. What's the result? The Personal Consumption Expenditures Index showed that consumer prices rose 0.2% from the previous month. That's a monthly number, and climbed 3.3% on an annual basis. The cost of groceries rose 0.2%, but they're up 3.5% over the last year. And my guess is, if you've been out shopping at grocery stores, you know it. Now, despite all of Joe Biden's efforts and all of the news media's efforts to pretend that he's okay, that he's, quote, honest Joe, a new YouGov poll found that only 37% of Americans think that Joe Biden is honest and trustworthy, while 49% say that they believe he's not honest and trustworthy. When you look at Republicans, 87% think that Joe is not honest and trustworthy, with 55% of independents thinking that Joe is not honest and trustworthy. However, Democrats are hanging in there. 76% of Democrats think he's honest and trustworthy. Let me also mention I'm just starting a new series of articles at the American Spectator, which I'm going to be sharing with you on a special basis as they come out. There may be as many as 30 articles by the time the series is done. It outlines the scale of corruption, the scale of breaking the rule of law and replacing it with the rule of power, the scale of left-wing totalitarian activities. I think you'll find it both fascinating and very, very sobering, and I'll be getting them to you after they appear in The Spectator. Thank you for being a member of my inner circle. If you have friends who would like to be part of it, please ask them to join us by going to newtsinnercircle.com. My new book, March to the Majority, is now a bestseller and is available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble and retailers everywhere. Get it today by clicking on the link in the description below.